So I would say we definitely gotten clarity, cut some ties, which I feel great about. More intentional on not only myself and my self development, really trying to prioritize family as well.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, family can really get left to the wayside. Hello everyone, my name is Danesha Williams.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Eboni, and we are the founders of Let's Talk About It.
Hi, my name is Danesha Williams Gillen.
And I'm Dr. Eboni Rainey Haynes. And this is Let's Talk About It. Yes, and as always, if this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. So, Danesha, this is officially our last episode for this year.
Yes. And I'm so excited to talk about everything, reflections, things that we've achieved throughout this year.
Yes, because this episode is strictly going to be about reflecting over 2025, some of our challenges, some of our highs, wins, lows. We're going to talk about everything. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's kind of scroll back on memory lane, right?
Okay.
Let's talk about the beginning.
Yes.
Our first episode. Do you remember our first episode of 2025?
Oh, okay, 2025. Oh, right. Yes, I remember we were still figuring it all out. Background adjustment. I don't know if you guys saw that clip of when our background had fell on us, but we were just figuring it out. And, people ask us all the time, like, why were we doing it? Were we trying to make money from it? And I was like, no, we're just trying to do something that we genuinely love, which is give information and then also share awareness about things that people might not know about. So
yes.
What about for you? What was that like?
Yes, I remember that we was also talking about New Year, New Me, that whole little
New me, new you.
Yes, type of resolution thing.
Right.
And also too, just to piggyback on what you said, because people ask me that too, like, why do you all do this, or the consistency, whatever. We do this for fun. Right. And then we are girls. We enjoy talking to each other. This is my girl.
Period.
We have so much in common. And that leads me to my next topic, is just over the years.
Right.
Oh, not even say over the years, over the year, because we're talking about 2025.
Right.
I think you and I both have really honed in on our intentionality when it comes to friendship.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. Talk about it. Okay, so Danesha, just going into friendship, where are you now when it comes to friendship? Because we talked about cutting ties at the beginning of 2025.
Yeah, I remember.
Now, have we cut ties? Have we just got clarity on direction? What's going on with your take on friendship now that we're at the end of 2025?
That is a really great question. So I would say we definitely gotten clarity far as where people are in their lives and what I'm aligned with. I definitely have cut some ties, which I feel great about. It's like a bittersweet moment because it's like you hold on to the memories, the time spent, and the journey that has come along with those friendships. But then you say, at what cost, right? And so I felt like this year I've experienced the cost of what it has been like to keep people overstay. Right. So, now I'm at peace. I'm at peace because I practice what I preach. Peace is my priority, always and will be. And so, I just give people back to where they came from. And I'm okay with that.
I love that. And let's just hone in really quick on one key thing that she said. Peace is my priority. I feel that was our motto.
Yes.
And have always been our motto.
Church still coming soon.
And, I don't know.
Okay.
Because you know me. And
no.
Speaking of, peace is my priority.
Wow. I had no idea.
So get into it. Get into the shirt.
Wow, you read my mind.
Yes.
Thank you.
And because I'm such a girl's girl, and because I'm big on meaningful things, I made these myself.
My girl.
Yes. Peace is my priority.
We're going to do a brunch date with you.
Yes. So we officially have our shirt. Peace is my priority because that's what we go by. And I could definitely say our friendship is peaceful.
Yes.
And we prioritize it. And I want to talk about that for a second because I feel as though when any type of relationship that you're in, you have to foster and grow that relationship. You have to make it a priority.
Right.
So if you're not making that a priority, if you're not fostering that relationship, that I feel it leaves room for assumptions.
Absolutely.
It leaves room for not even understanding the growth between two people to even know that are we growing together or are we growing apart. And I feel that distance allows us to grow apart.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Wow, that's a mouthful there. I agree 1,000%. And to your point on that intentionality part, like it is so super key actually to foster genuine friendships because anybody can be anybody, right?
Yes.
I think what I've experienced was a lot of people hiding behind this persona that they were and they really wasn't. To be fair for them, sometimes people are good at hiding and being someone else. But I think in a friendship, you have to show up as yourself.
You do.
You have to be who you are authentically so that way you can reap the benefits of wholeheartedness of a friendship.
Yep.
And I think what works so well with us is that we are just who we are. There's no hidden agendas. If there's something that needs clarity, Ebony's really good at, hey, listen, let's communicate. Or I'm like, hey, this is how I feel. You know what I'm saying? And there's no judgment. And then there's no putting you down or being offensive, right? And so I think you just have to be so open to good things happening to you. And in friendships, you have to be genuine for that to happen.
I agree. And a key thing that you mentioned too is being able to communicate and express yourself. And that goes with being authentic.
Right.
When you are truly confident within yourself, authentic and a genuine person, you can be receptive. Right. And it also is not always what you say, it's how you say it. So you do have to be mindful and considerate of who you're talking to. You can't just be loud and crazy and all of that. You have to actually talk with consideration because you never know what someone may perceive or receive that information. So I've learned that too, because I can speak to even just not being or showing up as truly who I am. I would say I started that maybe 5 years ago. Before that, I would put up a mask to show up to be accepted or to be validated. When in all actuality, honey, I'm that girl. Period. Okay? Very much so confident. But it took time. It also took time. It took me, I wouldn't say even losing, but departing from friendships that I thought were genuine.
So what does that look like? I mean, far as did that have an impact of you removing that mask and stepping full out into you, or?
Definitely. I had no choice because it was like a layer peeled back. It's just like, do I really want that in my life?
Right.
Do that serve me? Where could I have improved? Because I feel there's a two-way street when you depart a friendship.
Right.
You have to look at the friendship in its totality. You got to look at how you could have done differently, how you could have showed up differently, how you could have communicated differently, and also too, what did they do that did not serve that friendship to where if you felt the need to depart.
Right.
So looking at all of that, you have no choice but to be authentic. You have to self-reflect. You have to reevaluate, and hopefully in that you can be true to yourself and know that in my next friendships or in my current friendship, I have to show up better, or we have to get on the same page and communicate.
No, I agree. And what I really wanted to ask, because you said something that was very key, is that can you walk away from a friendship peacefully? Like, isn't that something that can really be done?
Yeah.
Are
you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking actually.
I think so.
Okay.
But I do feel it still goes back to the nature of the relationship.
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10, when you exit, it's something is not serving. And so at the end of the day, is it truly peaceful? Or are you more at peace because you left that relationship?
Right. Oh, that's so good.
So that's a good question. And honestly, I don't necessarily, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it can be really a peaceful departure. But I think it's more so you just getting at peace. that's something you seek. And again, like I said, because some people, they do all this, oh, I can't be friends with this, I blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But were you the problem?
Right. I mean, that's a
You know what I
good
mean?
question.
So it's like the self-reflection, reevaluating, knowing who you are.
Right.
And I like to what you said, I appreciate our friendship,
right,
because we show up as we are. You're
right.
either gonna like me or you're not. Period.
That's it. That's all.
Look, we both confident. We both know what we want.
And we're doing the work.
Yeah, doing the work.
And
That's what it's about.
I think, and to your point, after everything you said, what stood out was that the mindset changed.
Mm-hmm.
You said initially you had this mask on, which of course I've been there, done that as well. And then as I started to, I would say, disconnect from certain energies, I started to really see who I was.
Yeah.
Right. And then because of that, I was like, okay, let me do work here, there, and the third. And I realized that I could reap the benefits if I just worked on myself.
Yep.
And stop trying to change people around me.
Yes.
Right. I think, and of course, I want to get your perspective on this, is that sometimes you want more from the friendships that you currently are with, rather it be from years ago, from your old self to
Mm-hmm.
now, and then you're asking them, hey, listen, I see more potential in you. Can you meet me up here?
Yeah.
Right. Is that a fair ask, or is that too much?
Oh, that's very much so fair. Because I can even say with one of my longest standing friends, almost longest standing friends,
Right.
we had to have that conversation in order for us to grow to our next level, because we're both, two different areas,
Right.
doing two different things, but are we growing together? And in order to know that, you have to communicate.
Right.
But with one of my longest standing friends,
Right.
I think that was a fair question, because I had to ask, what can I do to show up for you?
Right.
How can I show up and be there for you? And vice versa. She asked me the same thing.
Okay.
And one thing we talked about was that distance.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we talked a lot,
Right.
but I didn't feel like it was always of substance sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just on the basis of, because we developed something, we have to continue that relationship.
Right.
And with me, and like you said, it has to be substance.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, okay, we're growing. How can we grow together? Or if we cannot, we gotta depart. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So to your question, I think that's a fair question to ask. How can you show up for me? Or how can you better do this? Or can you?
Right.
Do you have the capacity?
Right.
And to your point, I feel like you just have to be true to yourself and know if that's good enough.
Wow. I mean, Doc, so many, so many powerful ways. I mean, I agree. And the reason I asked that question is because, sometimes my newer approach, so let me be transparent for a second. As I was immature, I would say releasing friendships, I would just not talk to you ever again. And I would be okay with that because that's the piece that I get immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like as time has progressed, I've become a lot better at least expressing, hey, listen, I think what we had was great. However, I think that we no longer serve the same purposes, and that's okay. I feel like I've been trying to release people back to the state that they feel comfortable in, so that way they don't feel like they have to conform for me.
Wow.
But in the event of that, I feel like, in a sense, some people are not really good at that mirror being reflected back to them. So for them, they think it as, oh, I think I'm bigger than them or better than them, whatever. And truly, to be honest, I just don't. I just don't want to feel like you're having to be dragged along with my vision and you're still there, which is fair.
Yeah. And one of the things I think people need to normalize is people do grow apart.
Right.
Just like any other relationship, people grow apart. And so even with that kind of goes to our next topic of focus, just even in career wise.
Right.
Knowing when you get to a point where I know who I am, I know what I want, when it's a season and time for everything. So just to even talk, like, I love real estate. I love different things, but because God has allowed me to walk into another area where I'm passionate about.
Right.
I feel like loving something, liking something, being passionate about something are three different things.
Definitely.
I can love something, but I'm not passionate about it.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm in a season where I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. So my area of focus career wise may not be where it used to be.
Right.
And I think we have to normalize that, because I was talking to somebody, and she had been in nursing for 30 years.
Right.
And she was like, but I want to do something different. And she's been doing it since she was in her 20s.
Wow, right.
And so now she's approaching 50, but she was like, I want a whole new direction. Do you think it's too late? I'm like, it's never too late.
Right.
You know, but in hindsight, you got to know what comes with that.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, you starting from
scratch.
square one, okay? So do you have the capacity to do that?
Right.
So, you know, I say that to say 2025 really taught me a lot about who I am, what I enjoy, what I'm passionate about, and also just accepting the season that I am in.
Mm.
Because one thing I've learned about me is I try to be busy and doing things, but there I was like, God is allowing me to have time to rest for a reason.
Right.
You know, health wise, rest, you know, mentally rest. And that was just my 2025. Ebony, take advantage of the time that you have. So I did detach myself away from a lot of things. You even know I talked to you about just sitting in silence, or just not showing up to everything, every event, everything. Like if I don't feel it in my spirit, I'm not going.
Yes.
But one thing I do is I'm intentional about my relationships. So I'm showing up. Regardless. I'm showing up. If it means something to me, I'm gonna show up. But you know, if it's something outside of that, I don't have to be there.
Yes. Yeah. God, I guess God is talking to both of us at the same line. Huh?
It always.
I just feel like, solitude has been such a peaceful thing. And then I've taken your advice when it comes to, you can't go to everything, and sometimes I overextend myself because, if somebody asks you to come, why not?
Yeah.
Right. But then I thought about what that costs you when it comes to peace or convenience or whatever that might look like. And so I think 2025 for me, I've just been more intentional on not only myself and my self-development, but like you said, friendships, trying to find out ways that I can show up more for the friends that, mean something to me.
Yeah.
And, really trying to prioritize family as well, because sometimes family can get left to the wayside.
Yes. Ooh, okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, family can really get left to the wayside. And I know in the past few years, I focused more on my business and just growing that. I haven't really made time for the people who are and always have been rooting for me the whole time. So what does that look like
true.
for you?
So to that, because I feel, I'm very family oriented,
Right.
And I feel I make time, but it's times where, like my sister, she'll say, "Oh, my nephew has a game," and although I've been to maybe one or two for the season, and then I'm like, "Oh man, I got plans," but everybody knows that. Let me know 2-3 weeks in advance, because because my schedule
fills up fast.
Crazy work, right? So, but to your point, leaving a little room, I think, to where you can enjoy some of those things that maybe your family may have, but to your point, just making sure that you leave some time, because I have been in a season of rest, because even then too, if I don't have nothing on my calendar, you cannot call me the day of, Ebony, do you want to do this? And 9 times 10 is a no.
No same day delivery?
No, ma'am. I'm not that spontaneous.
Okay.
I'm not. And when my mind is set into,
not in prime mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So even just honestly, but to go back to what you said with the whole family thing, making time for the people that's been rooting for you is important.
Right.
Because we do want to foster our friendships, but you have family that's been there.
Right.
And to the ones that are,
right.
you do need to make time. So I agree.
Since we're talking about family, which I love dearly, what does that look like from a toxic standpoint of a family? And the reason I brought that part up is because you always have the great shining stars, but then what do you do what do you do with the others that are not so, rooting for you? Like, do you still try to build those connections, or do you just let them?
Nope.
Okay,
Because I'm a firm believer that I'm gonna try
of course,
once or twice.
got it.
In this age of mine, maybe once, but I will try. I will reach out. I will try to connect. And if you don't give me nothing to work with, I'm done. Because it takes two to tango. Not
Definitely,
done in a sense of you're done with me.
right.
No, we can have a family function. We can come together. Hey,
Of
hey,
course.
how's life been? But when it comes to my peace,
Hmm.
prioritizing,
Right,
you may not fit in that category because I feel it takes two. And
right.
if I'm taking initiative to reach out or to connect and I don't receive that, or invite you somewhere, invite y'all somewhere and y'all don't show up, I'm not about to keep trying to foster something that's dead.
I'm so glad you hit that nail because I actually have a question. So when you say invite, you know, are we talking about, little gatherings or like big moments, weddings?
Big moments.
Okay, like
Yeah.
weddings.
Big moments.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
I'm getting to where here.
Yes.
So, as we all know, I've recently got married in May.
Yeah, show the ring. Come on, period.
I'm a whole wife. So I'm in my wife era. That's the season. But I did want to kind of talk about, I know we kind of like switch it up. This is flowing at this point.
Let's talk about it.
About the season of when you get married, and what that looks like. And I feel like what I've experienced up until the wedding and after the wedding was like a traumatic experience. When I say that, it's like the people that you thought would show up for you, whether it be family, friends, whoever, didn't show up. And so I was trying to navigate, and I still am. What do you do with those relationships? Because it's like, don't get me wrong, there are one off. Some people probably genuinely can't make it,
Yep.
medical conditions, whatever. But what about the people who told you they'd show up, didn't show up, and haven't even reached out ever since?
That's a tough one. But I can use from my experience.
Okay.
Okay, so from my personal experience,
Yes.
Ebony's experience, I didn't have too many of them for my
Okay,
wedding.
got it.
But I can say for my husband, he experienced that. And you are in that season right now.
Right.
It is what it is. I'm done. You didn't want to take advantage of, enjoying this happiness and joyful moment with me when you said you did.
Right.
I'm done.
Okay.
No excuse, no nothing. But my husband eventually, surprisingly, he was able to eventually to open up. I mean, it took about a year or so.
Yeah.
But he was able to foster that relationship because he's seen that it was something that he needs in his growth, or something that when he was growing, he was able to accept the why.
Okay.
Even when the person or persons why wasn't as important as he thought it should be,
Right.
but he opened up his mind to receive it. But he also has the mindset of, I know how to operate that friendship now, or that relationship. Let's not say friendship, but relationship with that family member or members.
Okay.
It was an interesting thing to see. It was, for me, I just, I try not to take on other people's issues or problems. Right. And so I try to keep an open mind that, okay, it could have been something, but I know, not me personally, I'm not going to invite you to any other big moment because I feel as though you could let me down again. And for me to not even have to deal with that, I'd rather just not. So when you don't get the invite, you know why. When you just see it from Facebook, you know why.
Right.
And I think that's okay.
Listen,
I think it's okay.
I love that, and I'm so glad you're open minded, and that's why I love picking your brain, because to your point, I love that he was able to grow past that, right, and open that door at some point, which I love. And then you said something key that, okay, he now know how to navigate those dynamics, right, whether it be a family or a friend, right. So I think the question I have is, would you think that's more so changing just to kind of make them still feel comfortable? Because I mean, I don't know their why, and their why is their why, and that's fine. But now the dynamic has shifted because it wasn't a consideration of how I would feel as a person, rather it be a family or a friend, right? So what could that look like from that standpoint?
Well, I think it goes back to And this is the conversation I had with him.
Right.
You have to decide how you want to handle that relationship.
Right.
Meaning, once you have that conversation and you have accepted their answer and you are okay with that,
Okay.
then you decide what you're going to do next. So if you still want that person in your life and you're still going to entertain it, you entertain it on your time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if it comes to the point where it's conducive for both of you and you move past it, and that's what they with my husband too. Although when he cut you off, you're done. He's done. But when he invite you back into his space, it's like he can let go of the past.
Wow.
Me, it's a little different because I can't fake the phone. Not saying he can fake the phone, but he can let it go.
Yeah.
Me, I can't. So in order for me to make peace my priority,
right,
I don't invite you. I don't deal with that. Because
But
once I'm done, it's done. Because 9 times out of 10, I've tried.
right,
Because of how open-minded I am, how forgiving I am. To a certain extent, I've depleted myself in order to foster that relationship, whether family or friend. So if I feel that way, I'm done. My husband, he's a little different.
Just come back in a year.
Yeah, he'll, in a sense, he's going to give you 1 or 2 chances, but not too many times.
As he should.
Yeah, but yeah, once he cuts you off, he's done.
So like husband and wife. I love that. I love these two. I was going to say that you said something key about you're not going to invite them to the next big event, right? Mm-hmm. But then that comes with something because they see this next big event, right? Now, now they're, for example, they're talking about you to the family members. Oh, can you believe everybody invite me? Blah blah blah. So what does that look like? Because it seems like it creates still a toxic environment off of a choice you've made. Mind you, when they made the choice not to attend, nobody was knocking at their door. But now that you decided that I'm not going to invite them, there's still some toxicity there. So how do you navigate that?
Honestly, I don't think about it.
Okay.
I just, like I said, if it's a family,
right,
I will see you at a family function. I can coexist.
Of course.
I can be cordial. Hey, how you doing? Keep it pushing. But when it comes to big moments, I can't trust you to be there, and I'm not about to waste space trying to get you there,
right,
or to hope. I'm past that.
Okay.
So in my mind, you know why I'm not inviting you. So there's no need to explain. There's no toxic nothing because you know,
right,
you didn't show up to something big for me. So I'm not going to continue to invite you. I'm not.
Right.
But I know how to, it's like I know how to compartmentalize people in my head.
Right.
And once I put you in a certain area,
do not disturb.
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay.
Right.
And not saying that it's a problem.
No, it's not. It's your piece.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I can coexist with you. Am I going to invite you to the next big event? Probably not. Yeah, but if you come to me and we have a conversation and get on the same page, I'm open enough to say, okay, I understand, I get it. Maybe we can move past it, but it depends on that why and if I feel it's genuine. If I have this inkling feeling of like it's not genuine, I'm not gonna invite you. But if we can talk and move past it,
right,
I'm okay with that, and I will invite you to the next big event. But you got one more chance. One more chance
RSVP
to not show up and I'm done.
Right.
So that's me.
Enough said on that.
And that's why I feel like in any relationship, family, friends, partners, spouses, whatever, you have to communicate. Right. And if there's no communication level, the relationship is not going to grow. It can't. You need communication and understanding. Right. And if you have communication with no understanding, it leaves room for assumptions and more toxic traits, toxicity. Right. But if you have communication and understanding, you're in a good space to move forward and grow. Because at the end of the day, we're not perfect.
Yep.
We're not perfect. We're going to fall short at some point, and I give grace where I may need grace.
Right.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Love that for her.
So yes, I mean, in a nutshell, 2025 has come and about to go.
Yes.
Do you want to leave them off with some, going into 2026, some tips, some encouragement,
That is a great question. I would say go in 2026 open,
Mm-hmm.
open to new possibilities, new opportunities, new friendships, and things that challenge you. You know, I think the biggest thing that I was afraid of in 2025 was facing the challenges and having to have those hard conversations and do the things that I knew would move me forward into peace.
Mm-hmm.
And so my advice would be bold and take that leap of faith.
I agree.
What
I
about you?
agree. I would definitely say just go in authentic.
Right.
Go into the and take. Don't see it as a new year. See it as another day.
Yes.
And take one day at a time to become better than you were yesterday. And be true to yourself, true to the people around you, and just be comfortable within yourself in order to get to the next stage. Because at the end of the day, peace is our priority. Okay. So with that being said, thank you all for an amazing year. We're going to continue to have fun. We're going to continue to maybe post some videos. We may not. Hey, but that's because peace is our priority. And sometimes, some things work, some things don't. But with that being said, thank you all for tuning in, and we are out. Peace.
Let down your hair.
Tune in for the latest conversations.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.